In just a moment, X-1. But first, an important subject in these days of snow and blizzard is how to fight the common cold. And tomorrow, NBC's Weekday deals with this problem in a special feature by Dr. Leona Baumgartner, New York City Health Commissioner. Yes, it's NBC's Weekday to keep you up to date in every field, from health to housekeeping, from politics to pots and pans. And there's also the best variety entertainment on Weekday, tomorrow headed by Metropolitan Opera star Robert Merrill. Listen every Monday through Friday to NBC's Weekday. And now stay tuned for X-1.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight's story, $1,000 a Plate by Jack McKenty.
Ferry ship from Deimos Space Station carrying cargo and passengers from Earth now arriving in Blasting Pit 6. Radiation clearance and quarantine officers report to passenger conveyor. Mars Airways to New Chicago, Port Kelly, Marsport Park, New Amityville, and Nova Massapequa. Take off in 15 minutes. All aboard.
Excuse me, sir. Could you help me?
Sure, buddy. What'll it be? Cards? Dice? A little shot of distilled huckleberry?
No, I just wondered if you could direct me
Brother,
to...
you came to the right man. I can direct you anywhere you want to go. That's what I'm here for. You just get off the ferry?
Yes, I came on the Phobos Queen.
Yeah. You know you can spot 'em in my business. All right, what'll it be now?
Well, I want to know how I can get to the observatory.
The what?
The Mars Observatory. You know, the Astronomical Research Center.
What do you want to go there for?
I work there, or at least I will.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of them double-dome stargazers, huh?
Yes, I'm an astronomer.
Yeah, I heard there was a lot of you guys out there under glass, but I don't get out of town much. I got to keep my hand in, you know. Are you sure you wouldn't like a little flutter before you settle down in your rut?
No, I never play cards. Occasionally a little chess.
Uh-huh. I don't know if they got any chess in any of the casinos, but if you want, I could arrange it. You know, play against the house, $5 apiece for the kitty, and a C-note for checkmate.
No, thank you. Can you direct me to the observatory?
Well, you'll have to get a sand hack. None of the regular buses go by there. They just hit the casinos on the strip. Hey, I'll tell you what. The next ferry won't clear for another half hour. I'll walk you over to the hack stand.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you, Mr...
Just call me Pusher. It's on account of my occupation, you know.
Oh, I see. I'm Enright C. Bensinger, Dr. Bensinger.
Well, it's a pleasure, Doc. Right this way.
Well, this isn't exactly what I expected.
Your first trip to Mars, huh?
Yes, it is.
Well, you'll get used to it. Out this way. Adjust your gills.
Gills?
Sure. Well, what do you think you're going to breathe outside that door? There isn't enough oxygen on Mars to keep a mouse alive. They give you a standard issue when you got off the ferry. It's in that bag.
Oh. Yes, I'm afraid I was reading when they explained it. The quarterly journal from the Harvard Observatory, you know.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. I never miss a copy. Now, look, you put the nose clip in, see, and crack the valve. This way it compresses enough air to keep you going. Okay? All right, let's go.
Cold.
Sure, it's cold. Sand hacks are right up the street there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All the colors in the sky. I am surprised, though, in an atmosphere this thin, the sunset shouldn't be as spectacular.
That ain't the sunset, Chief. That's the new sign on top of the Canal Casino. Right there behind you, see?
Fun. Fun.
Yeah, but if you want a square shake with the dice, you go to Harry Harvey's place, the Red Sands Hotel.
I suppose the seeing is excellent.
You're telling me. You know, he's got a line of girls like you never see nowhere else.
Oh, I'm afraid I meant astronomical seeing. The telescopes, you know.
Hey, you got an idea there. Telescopes.
What's that?
Nothing. Fireworks. It's a Mardi Gras.
Oh, what?
Mardi Gras. You know, a big party all over town. Parades, costumes, liquor, fireworks, gambling. You know, a big celebration.
Well, what's the occasion?
An eclipse of the two moons.
Oh, but that occurs very frequently.
Oh, sure. You'd be surprised how much a Mardi Gras ups the take on the strip. Well, here are the sand hacks, and look, don't let them hackies charge you more than $15 for the trip. Just tell them you know me. Just tell them Pusher sent you.
Gentlemen, I want you all to meet Dr. Benzinger, our new colleague. These are Doctors Fitz, Spiegel, Ortney, and Klein. I'm sorry to introduce you to our team at such a critical moment, but our situation is rather desperate.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Spiegel, show Dr. Benzinger your plate.
Here, just look at this. Just look. It took me 8 weeks working with the computer to plot this plate, and look. Look!
It seems fogged. These streaks, I don't believe I've ever seen them on an astronomical photograph before. What are they?
Skyrockets, that's what they are. Skyrockets. Morton, I tell you that they fired them in our direction on purpose.
All right. Calm down, Spiegel.
Calm down. Do you realize that it will be 12 years before this particular conjunction can be photographed again? Morton, you've got to do something.
Couldn't you write a little note to the Chamber of Commerce and ask them to eliminate the fireworks?
We've written a note every time a small boy lets off a Roman candle, and it was no use.
I tell you, they fire them this way on purpose.
I'm afraid that's true. The other directions around town are either oil refineries or homes of the casino owners.
I don't suppose there's any chance of moving the observatory, then, out into the desert.
My dear Dr. Benzinger, we'd have to bring in crews to tear it down, other crews to move it and set it up, not to mention breakage and replacement, which would involve more freight from Earth at $7.97 per pound, dead weight. As it is, the immense costs add up to a staggering total. Do you know what a single photographic plate costs us, counting overhead? $1,000.
Well, then what is the answer?
Another letter to the town council, I suppose. Let me write it this time, Dr. Morton. My grandmother used to have several rather picturesque phrases which I believe I could translate.
No, Spiegel. Dignity, remember? We are an adjunct of Harvard University. Dr. Spiegel, I shall ask you and Dr. Benzinger to accompany me in person to the town council. Surely they cannot turn down a rational request in the interest of science.
Well, gentlemen, the town council appreciates the problem.
Yes, I felt certain it would. Naturally, you're aware of the importance of astronomical research, Mr. Harvey.
Well, I can see your point, Doc. You sit out there in your little glass hut, pointing your brownie camera up at the stars, snapping away. But you got to look at our point of view.
Oh?
Now you take my place. Harvey's Red Sands. I got a heavy investment. 14 crap tables, a half a dozen roulette wheels, and the rest of the overhead. I got to keep them wheels running. It's the Mardi Gras that drags the suckers in.
But really, Mr. Harvey, we were just asking you to curtail the pyrotechnic display.
Now, wait just a minute. I'm as clean living as the next guy.
Oh, Dr. Benzinger means the fireworks.
Oh. Well, I'd like to help you out, boys, but I look at it this way. Those stars you're looking at are going to be up there for a couple of thousand years. But a sucker is different. You got to grab him while he's still healthy.
But in the interest of science, surely the town council can't agree with you.
Doc, the town council is made up of Joe Rocco, Pete Carney, Alex the Armenian, and me. We own the 4 biggest houses in town. So go ahead, fellas. Take all them snapshots you want to. And if you happen to lower your telescope, get a couple of good ones through a window of the Grand Canal Hotel. I'll take a couple of 8x10 enlargements. I'll see you around, Doc.
Well, I'm afraid the town council was no help.
They just remain insensible to reason.
Well, I'm afraid the only thing those gentlemen understand is money.
My dear Dr. Benzinger, the smallest bet allowed in Mr. Harvey's establishment is approximately the same as your monthly salary.
Oh. Dr. Morton, suppose the gambling operators were suddenly to lose a great deal of money.
They never do.
Of course, with the ordinary layman playing against them. But suppose the best scientific brains were to concentrate on a simple matter like the probabilities of a given roulette wheel, or the combinations and permutations applicable to a game of poker. We could put the main computer on it.
Doctor, are you seriously suggesting...
Well, I think he's got a point. If we could give those casinos a shellacking, they might stop the fireworks just to get rid of us.
Now, let me get this straight, Doc. All you eggheads up there made up a kitty to get into a crap game?
Well, that's right. I thought you might direct me to the largest establishment, Mr. Harvey's place, I believe.
Now, look, Doc, come over here. No, over here in the corner. Now, look, I'm a pusher. See, my job is to take these tourists by the lapel and shove them in front of a dice table quick, before they spend any of their letters foolishly on food and lodging. But these rubes, they come here expecting to get took. They don't miss it, you understand? It's all part of a good time. But you guys out there running your Harvard peekaboo racket, you're different. Now, what do you want to get mixed up in this for? You take your peanuts home and shove it in a piggy bank. Save up and buy yourself a new telescope or something.
I appreciate your solicitude, Mr. Pusher, but I'm quite determined. Which way is Mr. Harvey's place?
Well, if you've made up your mind, the bus leaves from right over there in about 15 minutes. Get a round-trip ticket, because Mr. Harvey don't want no suckers stuck without they got car fare away from his place.
I shouldn't worry about that. Frankly, I expect to leave Mr. Harvey flat broke. I'll see you just before dawn. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
But what happened?
Luckily, a certain Mr. Pusher was generous enough to lend me $15 for a sand hack. Otherwise, I would have had to walk.
Well, that was rather decent of him.
Well, not exactly. He said he gets a percentage when he pulls in a ripe chump.
You mean it's all gone?
Every dollar. I just can't understand it. I kept careful notes. I followed the formula that was worked out by the computer. I calculated the odds by slide rule, carrying them to the 4th and 5th decimal place. I just can't understand it. Mr. Pusher said that I had a frigid digit.
A what?
A cold finger. I gather that's the opposite of a hot hand.
But according to the games theory as outlined in the last International Congress of Theoretical Mathematics...
Unfortunately, at the last Mathematical Congress, they weren't trying to make a 4 the hard way.
There they go again, skyrockets. I was hoping to get at least 3 plates in before they started.
And the crushing blow occurred when Mr. Pusher offered to sell me my horoscope.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
He said anyone was a fool to get into a dice game if the stars weren't right.
Now, there's an example of what we're up against. Medieval superstition existing side by side with hydrozyne rockets and nuclear space drive. Shocking!
I'm not so sure. Might be a good idea.
Dr. Morton sent for the staff psychiatrist. Benzinger has scratched his reflector.
No, gentlemen. Pusher was right. Every man who's going to gamble should have a horoscope. It's very important to know what the stars say.
What are you talking about?
And where on Mars is the place best equipped to tell you what the stars say?
Oh, no.
Dr. Benzinger.
Gentlemen, I tell you, it may be a stroke of genius. Hello? Is this the advertising office? This is Dr. Benzinger. I should like to place an ad. No. No, there will be no pretty girl. Just this. Free. For the first time ever, your horoscope scientifically cast by the staff of the famous Mars Observatory. Learn your luck, your future. Write or call Mars Observatory. No charge, no obligation. Yes, thank you. I'd like to run that every day until further notice.
Pusher,
Yeah, Mr. Harvey.
did you do like I said?
Yes, sir. I went out to the observatory just like you told me. You know, I had to share the sand hack with 5 other guys. I understand the bus company's putting a route out there.
A big crowd, huh?
Sure, Mr. Harvey. You know, them horoscopes they're giving there, the only thing on Mars that don't cost the tourists any money.
All right. What happened?
Well, when I got out there was this Doc Benzinger, you see, all dressed up in a dunce cap with stars on it or something, in a big robe. They showed us all around the place. You never saw telescopes as big as that.
All right. Skip the travelogue.
All right, well, finally they took my name and my birth date, my collar size, and they run it through this computer. You should have seen that thing. Lights and bells. I'm telling you, it looked like the biggest pinball machine you ever saw. I kept waiting for it to tilt.
The horoscopes.
Yeah, well, they give it to me finally. I mean, the first couple of pages is the ordinary bourgeois about the sun and the moon and the stars. But on the fourth page, that's the kicker.
What'd it say?
Well, it said that I'd be real lucky at most of the gambling places, but I'd lose my shirt at... boss, you're not going to like this.
Go ahead.
I'd lose my shirt if I played at Harry Harvey's place.
Pretty shrewd. You know, for a bunch of scientists, they're pretty smart. That isn't going to work. Who in his right mind is going to pay attention to a lot of hooey like that?
Sure, Mr. Harvey. Can I go now?
What's your hurry?
Well, I'm going over to Purple Flamingo to play a little poker. I mean, after all, they say I'll be lucky any place but here. I mean, you can't argue with science.
Gentlemen, I think we're on our way. I checked Mr. Harvey's establishment. You could shoot an elk in the gambling room.
Empty, eh?
There was nobody playing but an elderly masochist who likes to lose.
Dr. Morton, we have a visitor.
Bensinger, I have asked you please to take off that confounded astrologer's hat when you come into my office. It embarrasses me.
Oh, I'm sorry. But, Doctor, allow me to present Mr. Harry Harvey.
Hiya.
How's business, Mr. Harvey?
Yeah. Well, look, gentlemen, let's put our cards on the table. You put a hole in my pocket like I haven't had since I once ran into an honest police lieutenant in Cincinnati.
I presume you've come about our horoscopes.
Yeah. Let's shoot or get off the foul line. How much?
I beg your pardon?
How much will it take to lay off?
Mr. Harvey, just a promise.
What?
You're on the town council, Mr. Harvey. Now, the next time the question of tourist entertainment is discussed, we want you to vote against any fireworks display.
Well, sure, that's no problem, but look, I'm only one vote.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Harvey. Every one of the casino owners on the council will have his turn to be mentioned in the stars.
Yeah? You gonna knock us all one by one like a flight of ducks?
Well, that's the general idea.
I gotta hand it to you. I gotta take off my hat to you.
Mr. Harvey, we're desperate. We cannot afford to let valuable and irreplaceable photographic plates be spoiled by fireworks.
Okay, you win. But listen, here's $5.
$500? But we couldn't take it, Mr. Harvey. I've already explained.
It's not for me. I want you to take a full-page ad and do the purple flamingo in your next horoscope. I'd like to see Joe Rocco's face when he gets a load of it.
All right, Mr. Harvey. We'd be glad to take him next.
And one more thing before I go. Can I look through the telescope? I never looked through one before.
Well, that's the last of them. The Red Sands, Frank Land's Paradise, the Martian Gardens, the Two Moons Club.
And the Purple Flamingo. Dr. Morton, we've got them all.
There will be a meeting of the town council a week from now, and after that, no more fireworks. All those beautiful stars and nebulae and not a misbegotten skyrocket to stand between us. Oh, it's beautiful.
Gentlemen, I have some news for you.
You have?
I am in receipt of an interplanetary radiogram from our parent organization, the Harvard Observatory.
Are they going to send the new mass spectroscope?
Please. Morton, Earth newspapers carrying accounts of horoscopes published by your organization. Very unscientific. Harvard Board of Overseers aghast. Must stop at once. Find other solution. Signed, L.K. Bell, Director.
Well, I thought Thursday was the regular day for personal message delivery.
It is.
Oh, Mr. Harvey.
I asked Mr. Harvey to wait in the washroom. He brought the message down.
Oh, sure. All of us have contacts in the radio office. We can get a hold of messages a couple of days before they clear.
Did you come down to gloat over our misfortune, Mr. Harvey?
No. You got my promise to help you boys, and I'll stick by you. But the rest of them, well, it's tough, fellas, but business is business. I'm afraid the fireworks will go on as usual.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
Look, what would happen if you brought all the boys out here, showed them around, and then you could offer to name a star after them or something? I'd sure like to be able to point in the sky and say, That's Harvey's star?
Well, Mr. Harvey, I'm afraid any stars worth looking at with the naked eye already have names. Besides, Harvard Observatory wouldn't stand for this idea either. It would make as much sense to them as you naming a poker chip after me.
But, Dr. Morton, we've got to think of something.
We tried rigging up a photoelectric cell. It closes the shutter when a rocket goes up, but it cuts the exposure time too much.
But if we can't get these plates, we may not be able to duplicate them for years. Why, right now, they're preparing the first trip to a newly discovered planet. And the work of the observatory is necessary to ensure the success of that trip. Now, surely your colleagues will realize that, Mr. Harvey. The future of the human race is at stake.
Doc, the only race those jokers are interested in takes place at Tropical Park.
Look out there. They're starting the fireworks.
All of them heading this way again.
No. It's nothing personal. It's just that if we point them any other way, they're likely to splash people. Or maybe set something on fire.
You mean if the rockets misfired and get the tourists all wet, there would be trouble?
Oh, sure. You couldn't have that. A guy with wet pants ain't going to stand around no crap table for hours.
Mr. Harvey, do you really want to help us?
Well, sure. I promised, didn't I?
Dr. Spiegel, do you think the research library would have any material on pyrotechnics?
Bensinger, what do you have in mind?
Well, Dr. Morton, I was thinking of fighting fire with fireworks. Careful with that match, Harvey.
Oh, don't worry. With the oxygen around here, you need a blowtorch to light a cigarette.
Have you got the rockets ready, Dr. Bensinger?
Well, here they are in the launching racks. I've got all my instruments, compass, a clinometer, an azimuthal radioscope, and a blowtorch.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Spiegel. He's bringing the calculated trajectories from the computer.
Say, I don't know if I like this. What if they miss? Or they go off too soon or something?
Oh, nonsense, Mr. Harvey. You forget. We're scientists.
Here are the figures, Bensinger. We double-checked them on the master computer.
All right, then, let's go. They'll be starting the official fireworks any minute.
Azimuth 360.3570.
Check.
Elevation 49.3740.
Check.
That's corrected for wind, velocity, temperature change, and magnetic eddy currents.
Are you sure you guys know what you're doing with them skyrockets?
Don't worry, Mr. Harvey. They're going to explode in the Grand Canal and get everybody in the Canal Casino all wet. You shouldn't object. After all, it's your competition.
Coming up to 0 hour, Bensinger.
Light the torch.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire.
There they go.
Oh, interesting effect. That purple color.
Oh, do you like it?
Yes.
That was my idea. Radioactive fluorides.
They're up over the town now.
Hey, one of them's beginning to wobble.
Oh, I can't understand that. The computer was absolutely certain.
It's going over the south of town.
The other one's tracking correctly on the radar. It'll hit the Canal Square.
Yeah, but look, the purple one. There it goes. It hit.
Looks like it's starting a fire.
Hey, must have hit somebody's house. Hey, you can see it now. It's a house burning.
Oh, dear. There must have been a weak tube in the computer.
Yeah, some guy's going to be real sore. I can see it real clear with the glasses now. That house on top of the hill there by the Geeko bush. Boy, it's burning like...
Mr. Harvey, what's the matter?
That's my house!
Dr. Bensinger, I've called you in to read a letter that I've written to Mr. Harvey. Oh, do you know his address?
I believe he's staying at his gambling establishment. His house was a total loss.
Yes, well, yes. This has been a very difficult letter for me to write.
I believe the letter is academic, Dr. Morton. Mr. Harvey is outside.
Oh, he is?
With two very large gentlemen with bulging pockets.
Oh, dear. I don't know what to say. Well, Mr. Harvey, what a surprise.
You two apes wait outside. Now, Dr. Morton, about those fireworks. I want you to know I believe in direct action. I don't like fiddling around.
Well, of course not.
Like the time I had some trouble with a bottom dealer from Luna City. I didn't fool around. I sent him back to the moon in a cargo rocket with no air.
How interesting.
Now, about your problem.
I assure you, we apologize.
Apologize? That's great. Ah!
I just remembered I left a few plates in a bar.
I don't go away, Doctor. You're in on this, too.
No, there wouldn't be room. Not for two of us.
What are you talking about?
Well, in a cargo rocket, especially without air.
What? I'm trying to tell you. The council voted against fireworks.
No, as a matter of fact, I have a very bad sinus, and no air would definitely... What?
Oh, sure. We decided anything that could burn down an honest citizen's house was too dangerous. Very civic-minded, that council.
But I don't understand.
I kept my promise. I said I'd help you, and I did.
Well, I'm terribly embarrassed. We were trying to get a collection among the staff to help you pay for your loss, but I'm afraid the total assets of the observatory wouldn't reconstruct your garage.
Yeah.
But we held a staff meeting, and we decided on a more permanent kind of remembrance. Mr. Harvey, on this photograph, you see this trail? This bright trail?
Oh, one of them skyrockets again? I'm sorry, Doc. It won't happen again.
No. This is no skyrocket. It's a comet. It will be quite bright for several months. And we've decided to call it Harvey's Comet.
Harvey's Comet? Hey, that's real nice. Harvey's Comet. Hey, Doc, you put me on top of the world. Them boys at the Canal Casino boasting about their new sign. But me, I got a comet. Harvey's Comet. Why, every sucker on Mars will see it every night. It's the best advertisement since they wrote 7 down across the face of the moon.
Well, I'm glad that you're pleased.
Well, as a matter of fact, Doc, I kind of heard about it in advance of one of your boys. You named the comet after me? Okay. I brought something for you. Here.
What is it?
A poker chip for my place. Go ahead, read it.
Harvey's Club. Dr. Morton's poker chip. 5,000.
That's dollars, Doc. Don't spend it all in one place.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
That's great. That's great. I was just looking at the old list of videos and movies and stuff that I've been gathering from the internet, and I've put together 15 videos so far, educational films mostly, and I have another 17 here, plus probably another half dozen or so waiting. So I've got quite a lot. I need, what is it, 40? 10, 20, 30, yeah, I need 40 videos to upload next week alongside next month, alongside alongside a lot of old-time radio. That's a lot. That is quite a bit. So that's 10, so that's 12 a day. So that's 24, so that's 48 a month. Plus 40 videos. So 48 old-time radio shows. 40 videos. And then we're looking at 40 live shows in a month. Plus next month I'll probably get back to creating videos, because it's gotten so easy to put together a month's worth of programming that I should be able to put together a month's worth of programming and then just load a couple up every day so that each week it's ready to go. So if all I've got to do is just load a couple of shows every day to meet my quota, right? Every day I load up the shows for a couple of weeks down the road. Yeah. So that should free up a lot of time to work on some videos. And I'm going to need hard drive space here pretty darn quick. Really. I'm going to need a lot of hard drive space. I'm going to have to start burning. I'm going to have to start, speaking of burning, I'm going to have to start burning stuff onto DVD so I can free up some space. If I can put all of these X-1 videos, the old-time radio shows, if I can put all of the old-time radio onto DVD, that's going to take up so many gigabytes. That's going to take up terabytes. I mean, I'm telling you. I've got so much old-time radio cataloged. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is without ridicule. Huh? Ridiculous. That's it. Old-time radio, baby. This is old-time radio. It is. Sorry. That's just as bad over there. Anyways, Holmes. What I leave. So. These funny lighters with the dick on them. The Bic with the dick. I didn't buy these, nor would I. After using them, the fluid goes way too quick. You have to use too much fluid to light this thing, because you got to fill this channel here with gas, right? And it doesn't always light on the first dealie, so you'll just wind up using fuel for nothing. So I wouldn't. I'd just get a A normal Bic without a dick. Give me a female Bic. Shut up. Don't get weird on me, alright? X-1 this morning. $1,000 a plate. It's a great episode. You know, gambling on Mars. You turn Mars into a giant casino, right? Because that's a reason to go there. You got to have a reason for tourists to go to Mars, just so that you can have an observatory and all of the scientific research, right? You got to use the entertainment thing to pay for, you know what? And that's pretty much the way it is. You know, isn't it? Convince the people that they're having fun for scientific purposes. There you go. And right? It's exactly what I was thinking. I'm glad you agree with me. I did not want to get up this morning. At 4 o'clock, I was like, no way. I just got back to sleep after taking a leak, you know, at 3:30, and now it's 4. So I snoozed for 10 minutes. After the 10-minute snooze, I hit snooze again, and within 3 minutes of that snooze, I was like, all right, I got to get up. I got to do this. I just came in and started coffee and restarted my computers and started turning buttons on and stuff like that there. And that was neat. It was totally... I got up. I just woke up. And it's just, I'm on autopilot, really, in the mornings. It's pretty much autopilot. At 9 o'clock last night, I shut everything down here, which is amazing. I left the computers running so that they could do their cloud storage thing, right? That's important so that I can go grab things from computer to computer. The cloud is my network hard drive that I can share content back and forth. Everything that gets loaded up to the cloud from my graphics computer is always available on this computer, my main computer. Anything that I create over here gets uploaded to the cloud, and then if I need it over here, I can pull it down. Limited memory over here. So if I pull it down, I'm usually moving it over to the external hard drive immediately to free up space. While a month ago I was able to free up like almost 50 gigabytes of memory on this computer over here, we're back down to about 25 to 30. So there's a bunch of stuff that I need to dig out of this thing and stick onto the external hard drive. So I'm going to be working on that, trying to get more memory out of this thing here. What I really need is a desktop, a really good video gaming desktop with good graphics and audio and a lot of memory and really fast processor. If I had a fast processor and a big heavy-duty computer, I could be pumping out real videos, my own stuff, really easily. To take these lists of internet movies that I find, educational films and TV shows and stuff, to take that into the editing program, I basically take it in, add a little black at the beginning and the end, so I've got something to fade in and out of, and give it a little buffer, right? So the film doesn't just start. And then I'll add the file name and the little tag, you know, Monday Movie Memories or Totally Television Tuesday. I'll add that to it and then save it. So I'm just altering it a little bit, right? It doesn't take much to edit and save that. Now, if I'm taking a bunch of my own video, different pieces and different elements and stuff, and sticking it into the program and trying to edit it and watch it at the same time to make sure that things flow, I can't do that. My processors on these laptops don't work well enough to have that speed, that strength, to allow me to edit and view and change and not freeze up the program or, drop shit, get glitchy. Let's get glitchy. So it's been kind of a bummer. It takes me hours and hours and hours to create a little 4-minute video. And all of that is in having to deal with delays from my slow computer, basically. It sucks. So I found that it was really easy to create stuff from borrowed content because I don't have to change it much. Like when I took all of that borrowed content and created the Alice in Wonderland White Rabbit video for the Tommy Tom Show, right? That video, the original video that I created, took days to create because I used so many different elements that piecing it all together was just an immense chore because I couldn't watch things to line things up correctly. I couldn't freeze things in the correct spot. I was always a hair off in either direction. I saw that with the Big Sandy video, Face to the Wall. Same thing there. I couldn't get things to line up correctly. The sound was off. It was just, So I've got this video that I want to create of one of my songs, and I'm hesitant because I don't want to just settle for what the computer's going to give me. I really want to get my all into it. That's a bummer. A laptop that's an Apple might be stronger. So by the end of the summer, I might have my daughter's old computer and be using that, and that might, help. But, no. For the most part, I just need a good desktop. Good desktop, big monitor, and just kind of add to this whole setup here. Right? Because I can literally just put a desktop down here and get a little monitor for it so that I can keep track of what's going on when I turn it into my live computer, because it'll be fast and then that'll free up this computer then to be another graphics computer to bring in key up graphics and visuals and audio and stuff. So that'll be neat. But when I'm not doing the live stuff, the screen in front of me can double as a monitor for that laptop. But more than likely, I'll just try to get a small, little, 17-inch something to add to all of this stuff that I have here. I got 2 laptops and a big monitor, so I don't really have room for another monitor. So I'm going to have to shoehorn something into this mix. And it may be linking the desktop to my television and using my television as a monitor, so that I can just face be right next to the big screen and use that. And that's probably a lot wiser, having things bigger and right there in front of me. All I got to do is swing this monitor, and it's like right here. It's pushed out of the way for the show, but if I swung it out, it would hang into my picture to about here. Yeah. Totally. I'm just trying to hang in there. Creating videos is a lot of good therapy. It really is. Thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to be me. Thank you for allowing me to share me with the world. Because when the show's over, baby, I'm gone. When I leave the building, it's over. So at least there'll be something of me here for everyone. Not that they're going to care. Who knows? After I'm gone, I might become the biggest thing since sliced bread, right? I may have to set aside all of my video files and stuff, all of my lost elements, because I've got tons of video and photographs that I just shoot sitting here being stupid, and then it just goes into a file. I've got videotapes, actual VHS videotapes, Betamax videotapes, with stuff that I've done just sitting here, right? Over the last 3 or 4 years, since my father passed away, I've been putting a lot of stuff onto video. So I've got a lot of lost crap, right? And I'm going to have to go through all of my computers, hard drives and stuff, and really catalog everything, right? And that is an undertaking. What I need is some computer-savvy whiz kid who wants to come over and donate time just sitting here saying, okay, this file here, mix it with this and do this and add this and put this over here, and okay, now we've got all of these files in a row. These are all your photographs. These are your photographs. These are your family photographs. These are photographs throughout the years. Here's your old photo. You know, I want everything cataloged so that if I'm not around, somebody could pick up the hard drive, plug it in, and go, oh, look, there's everything right there in order, all arranged and organized neatly. You know, I mean, I've got so many files that are just labeled pictures or audio, you know, pictures or files that are just dates. I've got, 100 files of just dates. And those are the dates of the download. So, and the download is like, 100, 300, 500,000 pictures, and it's just, there's so much. I've got hundreds of thousands of the videos and photographs, mostly photographs. Just endless. It's endless, right? And because it's digital, if you don't catalog it and curate it, it's lost. Like my photography teacher said, Kiki said, if you don't print out your picture and share it, then it's just, there's nothing there. You have to print it out. It has to become real in order for it to be, right? If it's just a file somewhere, even if it's a slide, even if it's a proof, it's an actual photograph, right? If it's in the computer, it's not real. She says, you got to print that shit out. And I totally agree. Warming it up. Don't worry about it. I'm not leaving. Well, I get out of her sight for more than a couple of seconds, and she gets nervous. She's like, oh, shoot, where'd he go? Oh, Lord. I know. People have a tendency to do that with animals, right? Just leave them. And unfortunately, I will leave eventually, at some point. And that hurts to know that, when I take off for the night to go out of town or something, my dogs are just like manic, right? And it just kills me to think, what's going to happen when I'm gone? How are they going to freak out? How are they going to get sad? So I try not to think about it. Those are the things that bug me. I mean, when you're thinking about humans get it. Humans understand. It's sad, it's a bummer, but they understand, right? Dogs don't understand. You can't tell a dog, hey, he ain't coming back. You know, he's just going to pine the rest of his life, and I got to stop thinking about it because it's going to make me even more depressed. Well, this is Old Time Radio Wednesday, hence the Old Time Radio. We listened to some X-1 this morning. Today is Old Time Radio Wednesday, so we have 4 radio shows today. At 8 o'clock, there's X-1, episode 48. And Suspense, the very first episode of Suspense, The Lodger with Peter Lorre. Nero Wolfe, of course, because it's Wednesday. The Impolite Corpse, the case of the Impolite Corpse. And Inner Sanctum, The Death Ship. Right? So that should be pretty good. And then at 4 o'clock today we have Tipping the Scales, which is a Canadian broadcasting look at obesity in in North America, basically. And then at 8 o'clock tonight we have the Harvey Korman Show. You remember Harvey Korman, the guy that could never stop laughing on the Carol Burnett Show, right? Tim Conway just constantly kept him on the floor laughing. Yeah, Harvey Korman, great guy. Of course, he is Hedy Lamarr. That's Hedley Lamarr from Blazing Saddles. Harvey Korman. And so he had his own little TV show for a little while back in the 80s. After the Carol Burnett Show, and a couple of movies and stuff. He was a big guy. He got his own TV show for a while. It was your regular run-of-the-mill sitcom, really bland sitcom. So it didn't last. So this is just a glimpse at that. Yeah. I'd like to say funny stuff, but it's okay stuff. It's Harvey Korman. He wasn't the funniest guy on the Carol Burnett Show. He was almost the funniest guy on the Blazing Saddles movie. But it's a decent show. I thought we should take a look at it, at least, right? That's Hedley. Anyways, also what I leave. Oh, that one's shit. They're my lungs. I can destroy them if I want to. I already have. Another one bites the dust. I think I even have another dead one over here. I used to stave them so that I could pull the flint out, right, and save the flints. Oh, I can't even aim. It's like a foot from me. My box of lighters here. Pursue. Oh my God, like new way. I'm gonna burn some incense, you know. It's been a little while since I've burned some incense. Oh yeah, cooler update, water cooler. We fixed the leak I replaced the parts on the water line that was causing it to leak. So the water cooler is ready to work. The water level comes in. We found out where the water comes in and gets turned on. It's in the shower. So we pulled the panel off the wall, and the water coming into the shower, there it is. There's a little valve and a bunch of extra tube. So there's that. But unfortunately, when we were bringing the pads, the water pads thing in their little case, because it's one of those slim water coolers that only sticks out a foot from the house. So we're bringing it out, and we set it down on the ground, and I set it down, and I kind of tap it a little bit on the ground to bang a lot of that old dry shit off of there. And a couple of taps, the padding, the pad stuff broke. It started to fall apart. And so now I'm looking at a big gap along one side where there's no pad, which is just going to suck in hot air, right, basically. And it's so freaking heavy that I can get it on there, but I can't make sure that the hose is hooked up into the right thing to get the water up into the top, which means I'm going to have to set up 2 ladders and get help to put it on there, and then make sure that tube is in there before it gets set. And we're going to have to order pads. I can't put the pad that broke off, little strip back on there. There's just nothing to attach it to. It's just all broken. The whole thing is just so old and flimsy, the pad. So that's got to get replaced, period. That's all there is to it. Which means another fucking hang up, because those pads are like almost $200 to buy and ship, because they're so fucking heavy, right? So there's another bummer. So we're stuck here with the air conditioners again. We're going to have to get it ordered at some point, because summer is going to be into the fall, and halfway through winter it's going to be 90 degrees here. Summer pretty much is screwed up. Spring comes way too early. Summer's way too long. Winter is almost non-existent, at least out here. So it's just fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy, man. Yeah. Crazy. Man, I'm having fun finding movies. I really am. Old movies, old music, old radio shows. Yeah. What I'd like to do is work with the local radio station and do some kind of late night nostalgia show, right? When they normally don't have anything but like regular music on. Come on and do a nostalgia show. Come on and do a 2-hour show. Play old-timey music and old-time radio shows, right? And figure out a way to bring, a couple old-time radio shows and a bunch of nonsense and nostalgia and music and trivia stuff. Like 2 shows, 2 20-30-minute shows, and a bunch of music and trivia and stuff packed into like 2 hours. That would be cool. That would be a fun show to do. I could even do that from home, right? If I had the right software, the OBS software would be perfect in conjunction with more computer strength and speed and better internet, right? If I had a little bit faster internet, a faster computer, I could totally work with the local radio station, which is about half a mile down the road. I could see it from here. It's right next to the post office. So if I could work with them, that would be a dream come true. Once a week, do a 2-hour show. Friday or Saturday or Sunday or, middle of the fucking week for all I care. Just something to say, hey, check it out. Here's the past. and it's still fucking cool. Because that's, every day, every night that I sit here doing my show, the nighttime show, I'm having a fucking ball. I got my headphones on. Nobody hears anything but me. All you hear is every once in a while I'm talking into the microphone, and that's it. And it looks like I'm, living the life of Riley. I'm just, what people might think of me, having just boogieing around and having so much fun and picking out the music and commercials. And that's another thing. I really need to try to dig up some more old-time news, right? Old, important news radio broadcasts. And I do have a CD pack that is audio, important audio from the past 100 years, right? So I'm going to have to dig that up and then inject some of that stuff. Because what I'll do is I'll find it on my CD pack here, and then I'll look it up on the internet on my sources and try to find a digital copy that's easier to deal with, so I don't have to do all my uploading and downloading and uploading and take all these big things and work them down. I can just take my bits off of the internet and use them, which is how I do my show, which is how I do all of my programming, basically, is just go to the internet, go to my sources, and find as much public domain stuff as possible, copyright free, that kind of shit. Just clean this thing. I just found out yesterday that one of my favorite local California bands, Starcrawler, just got added to the bill of a show in L.A. It doesn't matter where because they're sold out, right? But it's neat that all of a sudden, somebody says, hey, we want you at our fucking show. I wish I could have them at a show, I wish I could, produce a concert, right? That would be way cool. If I could produce a show, I would have the most outrageous acts performing. Your head would be bent so frickin' sideways, wondering how and why you would have these completely different acts on one stage, right? But I would. It would be all about diversity. It would be very, very different. Because I like different, I really, really like new and different and exciting and stuff that you're not expecting, and I love to go to a show to see one band and you're like, this opener, never heard of them before, they look kind of kooky, and so I don't research anything before I go to a show anymore. I don't try to find out what their music is and what they're about. I let the excitement, the energy of hearing them for the first time on stage help me to decide if I really like these people or not, and there's been some shows where it's like, okay, where's their album? I need it. I gotta have their album. And then there's been shows where I need to meet those people. I need to go say hi and thank you, and I need to get their whatever records they got there and have them fucking signed, and I wasn't like that before, I would pay my ticket price to watch my show and go home like everybody else, and it's like, what, life's too short to be fucking a simp, I want to fucking get into shit. I want to have some fucking fun, eventually I might get, invited to go hang out with a band somewhere, and that'd be fucking cool, You know, not that I'm much of a partier. You know, that'd be neat. Hanging out with some people, be able to pick up a guitar and say, well, check out my song. You know, even though you know it wouldn't be anywhere near their level, it would be neat to have some people that I admire, some musicians and stuff, listening to my stuff. That would be different. That would be way different. That would be heavy. Need more dreams. Dreaming. I'm a dreamer. 'Cause I'm a dreamer. I've been a dreamer my whole life. Are you kidding me? You know? And I gotta be a dreamer if I think this world is ever gonna fucking get its shit together and grow up. 'Cause it ain't. As much as I want this world to grow up, I want humanity to get its head out of its crotch. You know? And it's just never gonna happen. And it's never gonna fucking happen. You know? You're either thinking with your genitalia, or you ain't thinking at all, or you're being told what to think. You know, I'm fucking over it. You know, you can't go anywhere without somebody spouting dogma at you, without spouting fucking rhetoric. You know, you can't get a straight answer out of anyone without them quoting some bullshit they fucking read on Facebook or the internet somewhere. You know, and that's all usually bullshit, and people don't realize that just because you can read it or hear it or watch it, that don't mean it's fucking real. It's like those fucking videos of guys digging shit up out of the dirt and going, oh, look at this box of gold and these jewels and all this stuff. And it's like, that is fucking Walmart garbage costume jewelry, gold-plated crap, gold color, spray-painted gold shit. And you buried it a few weeks ago in mud so that when it dries out, you can pull the crust off of it and look, check this out. And nobody believes that shit. Nobody believes it. You know? Well, at least I don't. I'm sure there's a billion people out there on this planet who do believe that bullshit, which is why that bullshit is there, for those people who believe that bullshit. And there's any if you believe in bullshit, whatever bullshit you believe in, there's somebody out there to cater to your bullshit beliefs, right? So I don't follow idiots. I don't follow bullshit. I don't go for, you know, keeping up with the latest bullshit. You know, I don't turn on my phone every day and look at it thinking I need to know what the latest bullshit is. Because that's all it is. You know, you're swiping, you're getting your head filled with bullshit. Period. That's it. You know, my phone, I have two phones, right? One is my actual phone, has no apps on it whatsoever. It's just a phone and a camera. My iPhone that I inherited from my daughter that after she upgraded. And then I've got my old Android phone that's like, it used to be my wife's phone, right? Years ago, and she updated, and I updated to her phone. I don't like to get new phones. It's a waste of fucking money and a waste of time. You know how to use this phone? It works, still works. Well, then give me that one and I'll use that one. Just show me how to use it. You know? And that's it. So my Android phone gets used twice a day to be my monitor, my live YouTube monitor, and I get to see what's going on. There's me on YouTube right there with my comments, and that's it. And that's what that phone is for. Every once in a while, and then twice a day, I'll get on that phone and I'll take my link from YouTube and put it on Facebook, right? And that's about how often I'm on that particular phone with all the apps. And so I'm on Facebook a couple of times a day for YouTube related stuff, and that's it. And that's how much I'm on the phones, right? The normal person gets up and they're on their phone probably about 8 hours. Whether they want to admit it or not, they are. You know, they're checking it constantly. They get up, they're on it from the time they get up, drinking their coffee, on the toilet, doing whatever in the morning. They're on until they get into their car. Most people are on it while they're in their car. They're on it when they get to work. They're on it during their breaks at work. They take breaks at work just so they could get on their phone. And then they get home, and rather than spend time with their family and loved ones, they're on their phone, and they all sit on their phones around in the living room on the couch, pretending to watch something together when really they're in their own little fucking world, right? Yeah, it don't happen with me. It happens in my house. My wife will get on the phone for a couple hours a day and you know, dick around. My daughter is on the phone way more because she's younger, and it's just a part of their makeup now, right? But you get young kids, and 50 years ago, and they were on the phone for, 5 hours a fucking day. Get off of that phone! I'm talking to Bobby Sue. So, the idiot device needs to go, and people need to figure it out, because it's just a tool. It's a propaganda tool, which turns you into a slave, right? And a slave that pays to be controlled, right? We make payments every month on, sometimes we're paying hundreds of dollars a month because we're paying on the best and the newest phone, right? Why? So that we can be programmed more easily, quickly. We pay for the privilege of being programmed. And we wear our programming and our labels like badges, like a race car driver wearing those labels all over. That's us, And we allow it into our lives because of these fucking phones, Is my phone still working? Yeah. So my phone is still working. I keep a landline here because that's how I like to communicate. When I talk on the phone, I like to talk on the phone. I don't like to have a thing here in front of me and talking into it like I'm eating a piece of fucking pizza or something. I hate that. I see people driving down the road with the pizza phone, and I just want to get off the fucking phone and drive. Quit looking at your lap. Oh. Yeah. Remember when phones had cords and we were free? And now we have those phones surgically attached to us. We can't get away from them. Everywhere you go, you see a phone sticking out of somebody's pocket. You see a phone in somebody's hand. It's grotesque. It disgusts me beyond any fathomable imagination of the mind. Fucking zombies. The Walking Dead. It grosses me out. I see moms dragging around 2 or 3 kids, each with a screen in their face. And, if it's not the screen in their face, it's them grabbing stuff, saying, give me this, and their parents saying, you can't have that, here, take this screen. And it's just, humanity bites, man. And, from my point of view, I've seen it bite since I was a little fucking baby, all right? As far back as I can remember, life has just fucking sucked, all right? Because of humanity and society and what the world requires of you. And if you don't put forth what the world requires of you, i.e. being a fucking slave to whatever they tell you to, then they got no use for you, right? I couldn't fit in school when I was young, so the teachers didn't have a use for me, right? If they couldn't get any back and forth with me, and they were never trying, of course, because they were used to dealing with programmed little fucking drones, and I wasn't that. And most of the teachers didn't want to have anything to do with something they could not understand. But I've seen the shit side of humanity for the better part of my life. The better part, right? The better part of the shit. Yeah, some shit's better than others. So I've got a lot of, for August, I've got a lot of educational movies. A lot of stuff on things that we would have seen in school, right? On like puberty and, the difference between boys and girls, like growing up female, as boys grow, Naturally a Girl, Cindy Goes to a Party, you know, and these are 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s stuff. So, and a lot of stuff on science and TV and radio, the movies, how to make films, stuff that really, I mean, it seems like oddball stuff, but it's totally stuff that would have interested me when I was younger or at any point through my life up until now, right? Like 1948 movie called, what is it? Okay, 47, The Private Life of a Cat. And it's a really cool old black and white movie about a cat. A guy just videos his cat, I think. He just, you know, with a like probably 16 millimeter or something. He just records his cat and the life of his cat and the other cats, and created this cool documentary. And, you know, a cat gives birth, so we get to see the kittens, we get to see the cats caring for each other. It's really, really neat. That opposed to other educational films that I found where, like, Russians are doing, you know, resuscitation experiments on animals and bringing them back to life after killing them, you know, or nightmare experiments where they get probes in animals and shit. I kind of stay away from that stuff. And I've pulled up some of that stuff before thinking it was one thing, and then go to edit it and watch it and go, oh, hell no, we ain't, it ain't coming here. I would like to bring more stuff on Mexican-American heritage and culture and Native American, and because it's more than just, you know, this white guy sitting here, you know. There's a lot of things that have influenced this guy to create the mind that I have, you know. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, which used to be Mexico. So you know, I grew up with a lot of Mexico in me, a lot of Mexican. You know, we used to go to Mexico all the time. I grew up with a lot of Mexican kids. You know, I married a Mexican woman. So it's all like a part of my life. You know, so I've got a bunch on Mexico and Mexican culture. You know, a lot of science stuff, a lot of weird stuff. You know, like 6 American families, and it follows 6 African American families in New York, and their different lifestyles, because they're supposed to be very different families, right? So that, I'm really looking forward to sitting and watching that. Yeah, cultural stuff, you know, science stuff, history stuff, archaeology, anthropology. All of these things have just been in my head my whole life, right? So it's really neat to be able to find the educational films about all of this stuff and dig it up and curate, catalog it, and bring it to you. It's a fucking ball. Gotta warm it up. Yeah, so the weather, this weather, everywhere, of course, the planet's dying, so the weather's going to suck no matter what. I almost feel ashamed making my daughter, you know, worry so much about school, you know. Maybe she should be out there with the rest of the humans just having a fucking ball, loving life, enjoying it, you know. And why invest in a future that's not going to be there, right? But she's doing that. I mean, every month she goes out to no less than 1 or 2 concerts, right? And I try to get her to go out with her friends and do stuff, you know. And Charlie's been here for over a month, I believe. And I got no problem with Charlie staying here. I got an only child, right? So The more time she has with friends and socializing and learning about those dynamics, the better. And if it means within close quarters, well, that's, sharing a room with someone while they're staying is a great experience for the future, cohabitating with someone, right? So there's that, and I'm really happy that that's happening. Yeah, I just want her to have fun. I just want to have fun, so it's as much fun as we can have and still deal with responsibilities. You can't just say, let's party like it's 1999 because ain't nothing coming after that. Well, you gotta plan for the future, even if the future may not be there, right? That's what I do every day. Every day I get up thinking I'm going to be up the next day. So if I wake up today, I'm figuring, all right, well, I got to plan for tomorrow then. At least tomorrow, right? And right now, my plans extend out as far as my daughter has planned concerts. That's how far out I plan. The furthest thing out that I have planned is that Elsinore reunion in a year. That's 1 year away, a little over a year away. So that's the furthest thing out that I have planned. I don't think about anything past, like I said, whatever the furthest out my daughter's concert is, the furthest out concert. That's as far out as I think. I try not to plan for anything. Because what's the point, right? I don't want to plan for shit that I may not be able to deal with. It's hard enough getting the drive together to plan. 3/5. It's 5:55. I like that. So it's hard enough to plan for stuff that is so far out, so far away, that it makes you nervous not knowing if you're going to make it there, right? And like I said, some days are such a struggle that I don't even feel like I'm going to fucking make it to, a week from Tuesday, yet let alone tomorrow. What the hell? Where's my lighter? I'm always probably sitting on it, right? Right? Yeah. Hello. Yep. I'm sitting on it. I used to make all kinds of plans, like I'm going to do this, and we're going to go camping, and we're going to do this and that, and this and that, and it's like, what's the point? You just tell me when and where, and if I'm available, I'll be there. What are you going to do, Nothing, shut up. Yeah. Tomorrow there's, at 4 o'clock, there's a film about film editing, right? And at 8, That's Incredible. Episode 7 in my collection. I don't have all of the episodes. I only have a few selected episodes throughout the few seasons they had. And I don't know what order they're in. There's no way to catalog them. There's no list of episodes. They're like lost, right? I don't think there's even a network copy of all of the That's Incredible episodes, right? I think those were actually lost. And it's possible because there were a few studio fires throughout the decades, and there were a few, loads of film, because these would have been on film or big giant video tapes. So there was a lot of that stuff lost over the decades, sold off, lost, trashed, erased. A lot of the videotapes were recorded over to save space. So a lot of stuff just gets erased from time, and then it's up to people who have recorded shit on videotape, to try to salvage something, which is the main reason I bring a lot of this weird oddball shit, is because I can find it, I can find it, and we can share it and enjoy it together. Like I found Ricky Tikki Tavi. I can't put that on here. It's a Chuck Jones cartoon, right? There's no way that I'm going to get a copyright okay, right? Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. I found the entire series. I have the entire series on my computer. It's there. I can't really use it. I have access to all of Saturday Night Live, from the very first episode all the way through the 70s, the 80s, and into the 90s, and all the way up, right? But the first 2 decades, I actually have that. And I can't share that because it's just, there's too much copyright. So I'm sitting on a lot of stuff that I can't really share, right? Movies, TV shows, music. I can share a lot of the music that I have because a lot of the music that I have is from the 20s and 30s. And while there are still a lot of copyright hits on those things, they're not serious enough to keep me off YouTube. It just says, hey, you can't make money on this, and you can't view it in 1 or 2 places around the world, right? And my intention of this channel is not to make money. It is to share my life, my experiences, and the things that made me me, basically. So I can, pretty much stay within those boundaries and stay, non-commercial, stay public. And it's fun. Keeps me busy. If I wasn't sitting here talking for 3 hours every morning, I would be sitting here talking for 3 hours every morning to the dog or to myself, So this is actually good. It's therapy. More than it's just a log. It's a therapeutic log, right? Does that mean like a Lincoln log? I'm gonna build my Lincoln log cabin. Totally. So the heat, while it's been in the hundreds every day for weeks, perhaps months, I don't know, I don't keep track anymore. I stay inside most of the time, so I only feel it a little bit. It has been humid, cloudy the last couple of days, so it goes up into the hundreds, and then it'll drop, go over 100, and then it'll come down into the 90s, and then go up over 100, and then down into the 90s. But it'll happen within seconds because of the cloud coverage. And then it never really cools off, because when it gets humid, it gets so sticky that the heat is everywhere. The heat actually sticks to you. It's like you're walking through heat vapor. I mean, that's it. It's just hot. So we're not able to use the damn swamp cooler now anyway because of the humidity. So we're just trying to get it done as soon as possible, because it's going to be used from here on out. We used to use it all the time and used our air conditioners minimally. But after I rearranged the house and had to cover up where the swamp cooler was, we just switched to the air conditioners. And we need to go back to the swamp cooler, save money. And it really does cool the place off easier, quicker, the whole house, because it's, forced air. People posting memories. Memories. Shut up. Yep. Like smoking a Camel. Oh my God, like I could totally use a cigarette right now. I always said, boy, if I found out I was dying tomorrow, I'd go right back to smoking cigarettes. What's the point, right? But it ain't tomorrow. So, I'll stick with my one vice, marijuana. At some point, I might switch to edibles, just to give me a little bit more time, I guess. But I ain't too worried about it. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Fight the inevitable? Stop it! I guess my depression probably comes a lot from seeing reality too real. My realism, right? That's probably a big cause of my, I don't know, I guess my current depression. This decade, this portion of my life, my depression is dedicated to the world that sucks. Yeah. I still haven't been able to clean this place up. Every spare moment I've got, I'm either working, playing here at the computers, sleeping, napping, or trying to get this stupid swamp cooler up. And every time I go out to work on it, I get about 20 minutes into it, and I wind up doing something to make myself just hurt like hell. Like squatting down on one leg to deal with something on the ground. Normally, I would just sit on the ground, cross-legged like an Indian. How can he say that? And how do you know? Shut up. So I'll usually just sit on the ground. Like if I'm painting baseboard or something, I'll just sit and then slide along. But I'm only telling myself, I'm only going to be down there, a few seconds, and I wind up down there for 2 minutes. And then one leg is just completely destroyed because of it. And then I'm limping for the next 3 hours. And then, 30 seconds of lifting something, and it's like, you know what, I'm done. I'm in so much pain now that I can't go any further, or I'm not going to be able to manage my pain, right? It's like, okay, so let's stop. I'm going to go in the house, cool off, take a couple of hits, and try to de-pain myself, and quite often it leads to a nap. I think I worked myself after I got up from an hour nap yesterday and prepped my show, did my show, and then had some dinner, watched a little bit of TV, went out, worked on that swamp cooler, came in, played around a little bit on the videos. By then it was like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I am wiped out, man. And it was that pain. If it hadn't been for the pain maxing out and I could have kept it at a manageable level, I probably would have stayed up till 11 or 12 in here playing, because I was still awake at 11 or 12 in there, off and on, trying to go to sleep. And I don't usually like to go in bed and try to go to sleep, force myself, because it doesn't happen, and then I don't really get any good rest. So if I can't sleep, I don't sleep, and I don't try. I just put myself into something, right? What are you gonna do? That's all you can do, is keep fucking busy. And lately, I just want to keep busy being happy. Whatever makes me happy, I'm doing that. If it ain't gonna make me happy, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Only the good stuff. I don't want to have to say good feelings gone. Yeah. I want to visit a castle. It ain't no hassle. Because they're all over Southern California, right? There's castles all over. Not real traditional castles, but pretty close. Down there in San Diego County, there's that castle, Old Castle Road, that takes you to an old castle. That's Lawrence Welk area, right? There's a couple of castles up in Hollywood area, built by rich people. A few castles out in the desert, built by kooks. There's a castle in Arizona, down in South Mountain, south of Phoenix. So I can't remember his fucking name. Scotty's Castle, I believe is what it's called. Scotty's Castle. And it's just a big weird house turned into a big weirder house by a crazy guy that lived out there. there are architectural novels, novelties, I guess. Architectural novelties out here that you would probably consider to be castle-like. The one just down the road here that is built up on a hill, and it's built in levels, and it's built out of concrete, and these levels are covered with a concrete layer that's shaped in a leaf-like pattern, like a feathered leaf-like pattern going up, stepping up the hillside. And you can find it on Google between Copper Mountain College and Joshua Tree, south, just on the border of the Joshua Tree Park. If I could get Google Earth on this stupid thing. Can I find Google Earth? Do I have Google Earth? Let me search my programs, right? Goole. Google Earth. Let me go here and see. And it's on the internet. So Goggle Earth, because I want to goggle at it. All right. There we go. Okay. So with this, I can start bringing up. I can bring up stuff from my area here and share it with you all. And one thing I'd like to share is that house. Okay, I get it. All right, thank you very much. Ooh, look, there's the planet Earth spinning. And it's spinning. There's North America. Let me zoom in. That is Mexico. Oh, it looks like a desert to me. Oh yeah, high desert. Low desert. Look, Salton Sea. You find the Salton Sea and you go north. That's it. It's easy to find us out here. Oh look, there's the big highway. Fody. There's Highway Fody. So we have to zoom into Palm Springs here. And that will take us to Highway 62. Highway 62 from the 10 is going to take us out into Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, 29 Palms, and that's where we are here. Let's see. I don't want to show you how to get there. I'm just going to kind of zoom in and I don't want to show anything. I don't want people, I don't want to turn this into a freaking tourist spot. Oh my God, did you see what the crazy guys got? No, I don't want to go there. I just want to show you a close-up of this house in exterior. Okay, let's see. I think that's the right area. Is that it? Oh my God, is that it? No, that's not it. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Let's see. There's 29 Palms. There's the college. That would mean that this weird house that I'm talking about should be right over here. Right over here. Right over here. Yeah. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking. Ah, and there it is. All right, let me see if I can go full screen on this. Holy hell. How do I... Ah, jeez, for the love of Pete. Ha! Come on, give me a full screen deal. Your settings. That's not it. I don't need that. What I need. tools, add view, layers, let regret, What, it won't let me go to full screen? It's gotta let me go to full screen. Fly? I don't want to fly there. I can't believe I don't know how to take this and make it a full screen photograph or picture here. Anybody know how to use the Google Earth on the computer? Wow, that is just... Wow, I don't want that. You know, usually you just get a little thing in one of the corners that says expand, right? Expand. Okay. Well, if I could just figure out how to, well, I could zoom in and zoom out. All right, get rid of that part, and no. Okay, it's not gonna let me go to full screen on this, so let me just show you what I got here. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the house that's out in the desert here, right? And it's very big. All right. And it's just weird. It is like a piece of art out in the desert. It's built on the hillside, so it's levels stepping up with where am I? It's levels stepping up, and then those concrete rooftop thingies. Those are big giant slabs of concrete shaped, really kind of smoothed and beveled, right? And each one of them is a completely different shape and size and configuration, to how they're stacked and layered. Everything is just random, right? And the whole house is just levels of that, and then little buildings, dwellings within that area. It's fucking kooky. It's a crazy looking place, and that's just down the road here, between here and where my daughter went to school at the college. So there's that, right? We've got the Purfoy Museum out here, which is like I can't remember his first name, but this guy came out to the desert and built this I don't know what you want to call it. He built a museum of his weird junk artwork, right? And that's basically what it all is out there. Junk artwork. Stuff has been taken from there and moved out to the Guggenheim Museum in LA and displayed there. So it's not necessarily junk, right? Let's see. There's that. And then over here. And I'm just trying to find this Purfoy Museum here. Been there countless times. And I always have to search out where the hell it is. Because I'm bad with locations of things out here. And I believe it was up, and there it is, Noah Purfoy Museum. And it is really just, I mean, a collection of really weird pieces of art out here in the desert. And there. And it's just a weird place. Of course, if you look off in one of these directions out here, I don't know if I can find it now. I probably can't find it. They actually had one of those flying saucer houses. There it is. From the 1950s, right? One of those prefabricated round houses, comes divided into 4 equal sections, and then it's assembled, and it's a UFO house, basically. I think they were a Walt Disney World thing for a little while. But anyway, most of our area out here looks like this. That's the desert. And it's kind of funny that the museum, the Purfoy Museum, is just plopped right down in the middle of that. Right? It's like all the weeds and everything are still there, all the garbage. And you get these weird random creations. I mean, and it's weird art, right? It's outsider stuff. Rows of toilets, right? Behind a wall that's only, that's the wall that's like a foot off of the ground, so that you've got this row of toilets behind it, and all you can see are the bottom of the toilets, and then boots in pants behind that. And it's just weird art. Stacks of like things stacked into an odd shape. I mean, it's, I find it kind of, I mean, while others find it like art, I just find it kind of juvenile. I mean, it's like what a kid would have done, taking a bunch of junk and making it into art, right? Some of it's cool. Most of it's just weird. It's just really, really weird. But we enjoy going there and taking other people there, It is what it is, It is what it is. So we got a lot of weird stuff out here. A lot of weird stuff. Pioneer Town, an old filming set. That's a neat little place. We've got volcanoes, craters, really weird mountains, hidden water spots. There's just so much out here. So much music, live entertainment. A lot of things to see. I mean, you would think that out here in the desert there ain't much to do, but there's a lot to do. Even just right in Joshua Tree alone, you could stay busy for a week just in Joshua Tree, trying to enjoy every single thing in its entirety. You're going to enjoy the town, then you really, really want to go to a lot of the live stuff. You want to check out all the museums, all the weird stores and shops. You want to check out a lot of the restaurants. You want to drive around and see a lot of the weird shit out in the desert. We're just a stone's throw from Parker Dam, Lake Havasu, Needles, Laughlin. 3 or 4 hour drive up to Vegas through the Mojave Desert, which is a really cool drive. I loved going to Vegas or anywhere up above there, just so I have the opportunity to drive through the Mojave Desert Preserve, because it's just a righteous place. You think there's a lot of Joshua trees out here, boy, you go out there and it's like, it's once again, it's like there's an actual forest of Joshua trees, right? And it's one thing to see, you know, a bunch of Joshua trees. It's another to see a Joshua tree forest, right? And to drive through it or walk through it. And it's just like you're turning your head and it's like there's just trees everywhere, and it's these funny little fucking trees. It's great. It's great. This is totally great. It's great. Yeah. We must be in the, yeah. We're in the second hour here, so I'm starting to get a little hungry. My stomach's starting to argue with me. What are you going to do, right? I can't very well argue back. I'll lose. Yeah. Sometimes my stomach silences me. Tells me to just shut the hell up. Sometimes just talking takes so much energy that I have to sit in silence just to kind of recharge. It ain't easy being cheesy. No siree. I won't live to be 63. Ah, so that's, here we go. There's the Metaphysical Retreat and Research Center. Let me, where am I? There I am. So, this building here and a few of these other buildings are actually Frank Lloyd Wright. This is a Frank Lloyd Wright building. It has a big giant spire on the roof with a light. This is an actual, it's like a church, but it's not. It's more of a auditorium, sound bath. It's all wood on the inside. It's not round, but it is inside. It is, but it isn't. It's a really neat building, and for me, it's a wasted building. This whole piece of property, while it does generate revenue, and they do hold a lot of events here, all of this has pretty much changed recently. Okay, so here's that. There's a lot of art. This is a weird pyramid thing. I think it was a 3D printed pyramid with an arch thing over it. Some more weird 3D art, large sculptures. When I was last there, it had a bookstore and I think it was a cafeteria restaurant here. And this is like just a big meeting hall type thing. It's got like a spa here for yoga and massage. It's got a bunch of little long, like 3 little long buildings here with, or 2 long buildings with this weird cover over. It's hard to describe this place because it is a weird place with lots of weird buildings, and you would think that these would be used as a retreat, but a lot of these places are just lived in, right? There's a lot of people just living here in these places, right? Yeah. It is just a really, really weird place. So yeah, you pull in and it's got like all of this open parking out front here, which is really accessible for RVs. This is really good for RV drive-through parking, right? It also has this huge field out here that has been mostly cleared and fenced in for parking. They cleared that when they were doing the alien contact in the desert thing out here for a couple of years, which kind of put this place back on the map. But it's supposed to be like there's supposed to be like an energy vortex out here. There's supposed to be, electromagnetic energy, weird shit going on out here. Shit that I don't fucking understand. I don't claim to understand. It's just, this is what I understand about it. A lot of weird shit goes on out here, But this is, it seems like it's, it's way underused. All of this stuff here, I believe, is like vacation rental stuff, which is perfect. That's what this should be. It should all be travelers coming through and staying here, right? And then you got the metaphysical retreat. You got these little weird triangle pyramid things everywhere, and weird things going on everywhere, and a lot of it seems random, right? I mean, you've got the property is kind of organized in a weird pattern, right? But I don't know what all this shit means, I just know that there's supposed to be a lot of weird shit going on out here in the desert, and this seems to be a central focal point for all of that weird shit, which is why they held the contact in the desert out here. So, yeah, weird stuff. This is their maintenance yard here, I believe. I did a little bit of painting at this place. Actually, I did some painting in the Frank Lloyd Wright building here. They were doing some remodeling. I think I did some doors. Yeah. So there's that. It's totally that. It's totally, man. Man. I gotta warm this up, because I know it's gonna be cold. So even though it was scorching hot yesterday, pardon my bump, we made stew. Well, I started meat and then went and took a nap. At about 1 or 2, we started the meat and let it, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock the meat cooked. And then we added more broth, threw in the potatoes, the carrots, and let them cook for a little bit, and then added celery and roasted corn, and I think that was it. And then the rest of the seasonings, and thickened it up with masa, and it was perfect. So now we've got a big pot of stew in the fridge for lunch, dinner / middle of the night eating for the kids. Man, The kids eat every couple of hours. Well, at least my daughter does. That she's used to eating every 2 hours at the most. The biggest stretch is 2 hours. She wants to go without food. Good. Her metabolism can handle it. Mine can't. I can't do it. But works for her. She needs all that brain food. Now she's playing some video games, which is cool because she needs to pull out of that whole school thing for a little while and get out of her head, because she's right back to it like in a month. Like in a month she's right back to school. Off to university. And that, and she's always dealing with stuff. She's like, okay, I got to create an account. I'm like, well, yeah, I got to create an account for grants and loans and stuff. Like, okay. And she's not doing any loans. It's all grants and scholarships and free money and all of that stuff. So because of her grades, and she's a California resident, and she's graduated from local schools, she's pretty much eligible for a lot of the local programs. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that if you stay local and you graduate with good grades and honors and stuff, that everything local is free. You have to pay for nothing, because they want smart people in their own place, so they take care of everything. If you graduate from the high school, no matter how you graduate from the high school and you get free college. If you graduate from the college, right, and you go locally, you get freer university. So it's not necessarily free, but if you work at it, you don't have to pay anything. So, and she works at it. She really knows. She knows how to work the system. She took the time to go to college first and learn the system, so now she can get out there and take advantage of all those programs. She would have had to take years. By the time she graduated the university, she would have finally have been taking advantage of all of those programs, right? Her first semester in college, and by then she was taking advantage of everything that she could get, right? And now she knows what she needs to do at the university to go after all of those advantages, because it's very, very hard for everyone, right? But if you can take advantage of the things that they offer, if you're a female, there's a strike against you, but you also get special help and benefits. If you're Mexican American, strike against you, but in college you get extra benefits, right? So the pros and the cons, the good and the bad, you're young, strike against you, but you're young and smart, and you're young enough to fall into the range to still get help during all of this. And the more you stay in these programs and excel and accelerate, then the more that they continue to help you into your older schooling, because they want smart people in their schools, right? They want to graduate high level people. It makes their school look good. It gets them better numbers and better money. So they want people like her, and I keep trying to tell her that, go to those places where they want you, even if they only want you because you're a female or a Mexican American or you're young or whatever the reason is. Take advantage of it. Don't poo-poo it because, oh, that's not me, but it is. Do it. Take advantage of it. You are young, you are female, you are Mexican American. Take advantage of those programs that are there to help you, And she has, and she does, and I'm so proud of her for giving it her all, for giving a shit and trying, So much more than I was able to do at her age. I didn't have parents that gave a shit, that would, set me up to go to school, make sure that everything that is done is to make sure that I succeed. That didn't happen. I asked to go to college, to go to school, and my father poo-pooed it. Even though he was the one who spoke so highly of education, and I would think that if I went to him and said, "Hey, look, I'm really ready to go to college now," he would have done anything to get me into college, right? Nah, nah. He's like, "I can't afford that." And he had gone to school. He knew that you didn't have to afford it. You could do it for free. You know, you could do it by taking advantage of different programs. And it just wasn't in the cards for me. It wasn't important enough for him to make sure that I went to school, you know. So I was really burned out about that during my 20s, right? Even though I tried to do some trade schools, but it wasn't for me. I was, learning how to be an auto mechanic or a graphic designer. I wanted to go to school and learn a lot of different things. It wasn't until the 2000s that I was able to go to college, and invest some time into me, And because I was doing it for the wrong reasons, I failed miserably, right? I should have done really well, but I failed miserably. I came back 10 years later and did the same exact thing and was a hit. I got straight A's, was on the president's list, the dean's list, 4 years in a row. 2 years in a row, 4 semesters in a row. It was great. And everything I did was fucking beautiful. Because I was doing it for me. I wasn't doing it for a degree or so that I could get a better job somewhere. I was doing it to better my physical being and my mental well-being. Right? Yeah. I really wanted to go. I really wanted to go when I was younger. Really. So I went when I was older. Got that back neck injury thing. Got shut down from working. And I was like, all right, well, I got to do something. I can't just sit around. I got to rehabilitate myself somehow. And so I went to college for 2.5 years and dragged a book bag around until I could carry it. And then started working for myself after a few oddball fucking corporate fucking jobs. And then eventually networked enough stuff out here and lowered our cost of living enough so that I found out that I don't have to work a lot. We only have to work this much in order to take care of our requirements and save and deal with weird shit. So, yeah. I'm so happy my daughter has chosen to go to school and that we were able to, in our own small way, facilitate that happening. Being poor, right, is one way that we facilitate her being able to go to school for free or low cost. Because we're so fucking poor. We're in that low cost poverty line that allows her, and when she has to write essays to get scholarships, she talks about that, having to live hand to mouth her entire life, having to be homeless half of her life, living in a trailer, having to follow the jobs and move around a lot and stuff. So she knows how important it is. When she writes these essays, she has to read it and write it and think it and see it, and it sinks in, and it reinforces the fact that we've had it rough, but that's what makes it so important for her to succeed in what she does. And it is a driving factor. The fact that she knows that she doesn't always want to be poor, right? She knows that she doesn't always want to have to worry about things, So if I can get her to where she can manage her life and succeed and excel and thrive in her own world that she creates for herself, I'm jazzed. Like I said, a piece of property with some greenhouses and some gardens and some animals and a nice little house where she can work from home and have some local stuff to do and volunteer work. And I see that as making her a very happy person. Just from the person that I see, that totally fits her. And I don't force that image on her at all. I don't even say this kind of stuff. At some point, I'm hoping that because of the way she's been directed and, corralled, that she's going to figure that out on her own, Maybe once in a while I'll mention that, it would be nice to have a little farm somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, with really good internet. You know, I could totally live in a cave if I had really good high-speed internet, you know. Yeah. Stir this up a little bit, I think. Yeah. Totally. Wow, for some reason the Harlem Globetrotters just popped into my head. Wow. I remember when we were young living in Fallbrook, California, they came to Fallbrook and played a game at the old high school. The new high school had just been built, but the old high school was now the middle school. And they had an auditorium, a big basketball auditorium, full size, with bleachers on both sides, skylight windows and stuff. It was really neat. Old school, probably built in the 1950s or 60s or something, because it's right next to the military base, and this was kind of a military-based community. So they came and they played in this little, shoebox of a auditorium. And it was fantastic. It was hilarious. It was fun. That was like 1977 or 78. It was really cool. Really cool. I think we got to go for free because it was, a school event. All of the schools got to go in that area there. And I think it was on their, like, one of those tours where they were playing schools and auditoriums and stuff all over the country, And they still do that. They still play all over the country. I'd love to go see them. To go see the Harlem Globetrotters again. That brings back a lot of memories. Back when McDonald's was, Ronald McDonald, and not corporate scum. Back when food was actually food, and not, pink slurry chicken nuggets and chicken sandwiches and shit. Yeah. I mean, you can even... Well, time to wake up, Mom. You can even taste the corporate flavoring in In-N-Out, and that's hard to do because In-N-Out is like almost all still original, right? In their menu and their food and everything. But you can taste a little bit of corporate in there now, and you can taste a little GMO in their food, their lettuce and tomatoes. All right, I'm going to turn off the sound here for a minute while I go rattle my wife's cage, and I'll be right back. I'm back, baby. I see I'm alone again, naturally. I'm alone again, naturally. That's what happens. People see a time to run, and they're just like, I'm out of here. I'm gone, baby. He ain't gonna notice if I'm here. I'm out. He's not even checking the comments. Of course I'm checking the comments. I check the comments all the time, but nobody comments. Just Joey and occasionally a few others, right? A few other people who want to take the time to get to know me actually leave comments. Oh, you're so funny. Yeah, don't think about it. That dog, little Oliver, the whitefish, he always overthinks his jumps. And he'll do the chow, 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 trying to back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to get a good jump. He hates me talking about him. He gets an attitude. Hey, Sam. What's up, Sam? Are you awake now? You want to go back to bed? Come here, Sam. Come here, you kook. Come here and say good morning first. Oh, maldiferous. Despotism. That's one of those films that I downloaded yesterday. 1946 film on despotism. I wrote depotism, but it's despotism. And it's what you call it, from democracy to despotism. So I guess from what we have to what they have, I don't know, from the good to the bad. Don't try to tell me what's good and bad, right? Nobody can figure that shit out. It's so fucking blurred. It's all wonky. The good is bad, the bad is good. Eat healthy. Well, you try to eat healthy and you kill yourself with pesticides, right? Nothing is good anymore. It's all bad. Nothing's bad anymore. It's all good, right? It's all blurred. Right, Sam? Yawner. Hi. You want to go back to bed, I get it. Well, me too. At some point, I'll get there. This is probably a good day to do this, to get some extra sleep. The missus will be taken off to go help some friends because it's Wednesday. And I could probably finish with this in an hour and eat a little breakfast and then do a little computer stuff and then go right back into bed. Try to get a couple of hours in before she gets home. And then try to do something worth doing. Right? You know, Sam? I'm sitting here talking to myself and Sam's eyeballing me like, what the hell? Why you sit there and talk to yourself? There's nobody here, just me. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Hey, are you talking to me? He keeps looking at me saying, hey, are you talking to me? I'm talking to you. Are you talking to me? Hey, what are you doing, eh? Even Bessie, I start talking and her tail wags like, are you talking to me? I'm just talking, Sam. Yeah, look at me like I'm crazy. My dog is looking at me like I'm crazy. How's that? He looks away like, man. He actually looked away and went, man. My dog thinks I'm crazy. Well, you know, he can just join the crowd. I think I'm crazy, so ain't no stretch. Ain't no stretch. Ooh. So I just flashed into my head living in Carson, Nevada, 15 years ago. We moved from there in 2009, so 15 years ago. And I remember that, well, I remember a lot, but it was really neat because they had a train in Carson, and it was just a train depot, the station, and then a little stretch of track, right? And then that was it. And then while we lived there over the course of a couple of years, they created a rail line from Virginia City to Truckee, right? Which was really, really cool. We never got to, I would love to go up there and take that rail journey. And I believe that the plan was to make a spur to the rail museum so that you could come in and visit there and see the rail stuff, as well as take the line all the way, you know, from Virginia to Truckee. We were just watching a MacGyver yesterday, where they were on the old India Rail line, right? And she's like, I want to take a train ride. Where can we take a train ride? And I said, well, there's Amtrak goes all up the coast, right? You can take an Amtrak and just go up the coast. That's that, you know. But it didn't even dawn on me that if we were to take a trip to Carson, we could take a ride on a train. What's really neat is every once in a while here in Joshua Tree, you will, for no reason, at least no fathomable reason, you'll hear a train whistle blow here in town, right? And it's like, well, what the hell is that? And you just think, it's probably a truck going by, or it's something, you know, other than a train, right? And it's actually a train. There's a guy who lives here in Joshua Tree who has miniature trains. Now, I'm not talking, you know, N scale and that kind of shit. I'm talking like the trains that you see in a park, where you could sit on the train and ride the train around, and it's got carts for kids to sit in, right? And there's an engineer sitting on the engine going woo woo, and he's actually got full-size engines out there, and he's got full-size rail that go switch back up the hill, and I keep trying to follow him on occasion to find out when he has any events that he's going to open it up to the public and have people come out, because I really want to check it out. That's another thing that we can find on Google Earth. Let me see if I can find that. Did I save Google Earth? I don't think I starred Google Earth, so I will have to do that again. Legendary musician dies. Well, who was that guy? 90? Well, who's that? You gonna give me his name? John Mayall. Oh wow, I think I have John Mayall on LP and 8-track. Google Earth. There it is. So let me go ahead and go there and tack a star onto that. And all right. While that is booting up, yeah, that's clean. That's a better hit. All right. It's still set there at the Metaphysical Retreat Center. Now I have to try to remember what it is I was going there for. Anybody? 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 It'll come to me. Train. Okay, so we got a local guy out here who has trains. And let me see if I can find his train house. And there it is. And there it is. Alright. Alright, so here we go. Here's my this is here in town. This is a local piece of property, and he actually has railroad on his property. He has rail, he has trestles, he has little buildings where he parks his engines and his trains. He's got, it looks like a little trailer park here where people can stay. He's got smaller gauge trains in stations, bigger gauge trains, actual entire trains, right? Cars. He's got engine houses, switchers. The guy's got the everything, and he's got track that goes up. He's building rail up into the hills. Here's a trestle here. You know, it's just crazy that this guy is able to get all of this. Look at all this. I mean, these are all spots where he's got his rail up now. His rail actually goes up. It's crazy what he does with his trains. So at some point I would love to get out to this piece of property and see all of this, because I've always been a train guy, you know. And look at that, full-size friggin' trains out here in the frickin' desert where there's no rail. There's no rail out here. I think the closest rail that was out here in the desert was, I mean, look at this. This is all Joshua Tree Park here between Highway 62 and the 10, and the nearest rail is down here along the 10, and the closest it comes is up into a mining community over in Eagle Mountain down by Desert Center, right? And that's the only place where the rail used to come up high. Here it is here. This rail line used to come up into the Eagle Mountain mine, which has changed. It got sold. All of this old mine community here. This is a neighborhood, right? Hundreds of homes here in this old neighborhood. Still has the properties for the other homes that aren't there, right? And this all just recently got sold to somebody who bought it to develop it, right? So who knows what's going to happen out here now, right? I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this mining community. But I mean, you've got the aqueduct comes right through here, and the train comes right up into the friggin' right up into the mine, and actually comes in the mine and goes out of the mine. Where does it come in? It comes in and goes out. But it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Yep. The old rail line. But that's the nearest place that used to, and this is washed out here. That's the nearest place that we used to have rail out here, right? And that is, I mean, look at the distance from here to home. You know, where is it? Yeah, from here, Eagle Mountain. So wherever he brought those trains from, they had to be, I mean, they had to be brought in somehow, right? How do you bring big giant trains into anywhere? You got to put them on a truck, right? And that is that's a lot of train to truck. Be cheaper just to lay rail to get it here, right? Right? I mean, that's just weird shit. People collect I mean, I collect weird shit, but to collect big giant trains and then to park them out in the middle of nowhere, you know, I mean, the property's cheap, so I guess he's saving money for more train, right? The cheaper the property, the more train he can buy. But he's buying rail. He buys rail and train and engines and railroad ties and the works. I mean, the guy's probably got an engine here with a construction thing on the front of it so he can build his own rail, right? I'd like to see, this has got to be an old picture here. Data attribution 2014, right? 2023. So this isn't too old of a picture, but I would really like to see what's going on out there, right? Man, there's a lot of rail. There's a lot of rail out there, and a lot of cars. You know, there's a rail museum in Paris, California. There's one in, I want to say, Oceanside, Escondido, Carlsbad area, I believe. There's one out, I can't remember exactly where it is. We went out into that area for a wedding or quinceañera or something, and it was like, oh look, there's a train museum. They're all over, you know. Another 100 years, people aren't going to know what the hell a train is. And imagine archaeologists in 1,000 years or more trying to figure out why the hell there's a rail spur line out in the middle of nowhere that goes, you know, a few hundred feet. These guys were lazy. They had to take stuff from here to there. Boy, man, humanity got really lazy. He built a rail line and trains just to move his rail line and trains around. So Virginia City. Imagine taking a train ride from Truckee, California to Virginia City, Nevada. Right through the old country. Tall trees and big valleys and crags and rocks and mountains and shit. And then right on into the desert of Bonanza, right? The old plains and stuff. And I think the plan was to build a line into Tahoe, South Tahoe, from up there. And to connect a bunch of these things for tourism, right? And have a bunch of these rails moving around, moving people around. And that'd be neat if they jibed up with Amtrak in some areas so that you could take a train to here from Amtrak and get on these little things and go tour around, you know. And then get back on Amtrak and take it to another spot and then tour around more train stuff, right? The tour trains with the, you know, that are just on a little limited line that go out in a loop and come around or just go back and forth. There's tons of that shit everywhere. From Washington, Oregon, California, you know, just all over. Just all over, right? That'd be neat to have a few hundred acres and to have a train that kind of maneuvers around your property and then kind of weaves into it and then back out. So you can get this whole adventure, you know, at home. You know, and then maybe I'm going to take, you know, and make it, you know, modern so that you don't have to feed coal and shit, you know, but have an electric powered deal that you could just start up and take it around and take it from down here on the ranch up onto the cabin, you know, up to the old mine. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Maybe someday we'll get a rail adventure. I think the most time I've spent on a train is that little short spur at the museum in Carson and taking the trip at Disneyland, the Knott's Berry Farm Rail. I think Magic Mountain, they even have a train. And I think those are like the longest train rides that I've been on, you know. And I would really like to have, you know, a long, long 8, 10, 12-hour, 2-day trip on a train. That would be spectacular. I think if I were to win the lottery, along with having that big giant piece of property, it would probably be a lot of adventures like that. Let's spend a week on a train just going around. Let's spend a month on a cruise ship bopping around. I don't know. Just weird stuff. There goes Sam checking on Mom. Hi, Sam. He's got weird body language. He's got weird body language. Tough guy. He's a tough guy. I'm surrounded by dogs now that Mom's awake. They're all running around. So occasionally I will hit the mute button so I can talk to the missus. And there you go. There you go. Sam. Likes to get into Bessie's bed and bury himself under the blanket. She's got a big giant bedspread kind of folded and wadded up on her bed. And he likes to get in there and tear it up and make it and remake it and get under it. And so you call him and he'll pop up from underneath the blanket. What? He's a funny dog. Funny dog. He's a funny dog. Hey. Crazy dog. Hey, crazy dog. Psst. Psst, psst. Hi. Hi, Sam. You weirdo. Go figure. I got a weird dog. Yeah. Looks like a light breakfast. And then a little bit of nap. After I do a little bit of computer work. Unless, of course, I get so pumped up in the computer work that it's like, all right, I'll stay awake until noon and then take a nap. Which happens. Sometimes I'll just stay awake. It's like, all right, man, I gotta just like lay down for an hour before the show at 5, and I gotta start dealing with that at 4. Create the show, start the live feed, do the pre-show, all that crap. So maybe when I get done with here, if I'm smart, I'll create my show on paper so that all I have to do is click, click, click. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes to create a show, just picking out the 16 songs that I'm going to play. I pick out the commercials and news during the show, but the songs I like to pick out ahead of time, because sometimes I'm like, I can't decide. So I like to do all that indecision while I'm not on. Get that over with, write everything down, and then it's just a matter of, all right, I'm in this set, I'm going to go and I'm going to pick out those songs, and then all I have to do is push play. And it's that easy. So rather than have to get up and do that after my nap, I'll probably do that after the show. Just get it over with. Just bring up the list of songs. Figure out how I'm going to arrange the list to choose from so that they fall in different orders when I play them. Ascending, descending, by number, by alphabetical, whatever. Like that. Pick out my 16 songs, write them up, and I'm ready for the show. All I have to do is open my windows and go live. So I will probably eat something, watch a little tube, and load up a few things here to save. And if it looks like they're going to take a while, then I'm going to go lay down. If it looks like it's going to go really fast, then I'll do as many as I can until it starts to, I hit a file that really is going to take a while. And then I'll just go lay down. And just give in. Just succumb to the pain and sleepiness that brings. Oi. Had to say pain. Oi. stays around a lot longer. Usually pain. It used to be, oh, there's a pain, oh, it's gone. And now it's like, oh, there's a pain. 3 days later, it goes away. I'll be back. Oh, hey, I'm here. I knew the sound was off. I had it off so that you didn't have to hear me eating. Or so I didn't have to edit what I was saying to my wife. Because we like to have a, conversation in the morning before she leaves. Or when she wakes up. Or at any old time of the day, so... I like to keep my private life private. I'm only on here when I'm on here. And at this point, I am way out of it. I really had to fight to get that food in me. I'm sorry you had to witness that. But that'll hopefully prime me up to eat something in the next couple of hours if I'm awake. I would imagine that when I get done with this, as much as I want to just go lay down, I'm probably going to try to get something started production-wise here. I've got, 20 educational films that I need to turn into presentable videos. And that's time consuming. But I really do need to come up with, enough programming for next month and get it all done in the next couple of days so that it's done well before the month. So all I have to do is say, okay, here's what I'm doing this week, write it in, pull it over and upload it, and it's like that easy, right? So in my spare time, I just create videos out of borrowed content. Just take the borrowed content, turn it into a video, and upload it. I don't take credit for any of it. All I'm doing is making it presentable, turning the volume up or down, getting rid of the garbage at the end of the beginning. You want to go to bed? What about you, Oliver? You want to go to bed too? Big dog, you want to go outside? You need to go outside? You got food and water. You good? Okay, Sphinx. Just tell me what you're sphinxing about. And you, Ollie. Hi. Hi, little boy. Little fat boy. 2 dogs in bed. And 2 dogs out here. Okie dokie. Man, I'm thin as a rail. Totally. Oh yeah, that's right. I was here trying to kill pain. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Totally. Uh-huh. I finally got that text I was waiting for. It wasn't a phone call, it was a text. Maybe it'll lead to a phone call. And will that lead to anything? I don't know. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, man. What do you know? Nothing. What do you know? Nothing? Well, what do you know? My pain level keeps going up and up and up. And my stomach keeps messing with me. Which is why I can never guarantee what I'm available for. I mean, there's no way I could work a regular job anymore at all. Because there are some days I get up and I'm like, no. I can't function normally. I can't even function at all, let alone function normally, let alone working for somebody and trying to be worth what they're paying me. I feel guilty working for somebody because they're not getting what they're paying for. They're not getting 100% ever. As much as I want to claim, yeah, I'm giving you, it's bullshit. I can't even get to 50% some days. Some days all I can manage is this. Hi, Bessie. Sphinx. You're a sphinx. I'm sorry I didn't give you any bagel. Nobody got bagel. It was my bagel. If I get up later and I see some of Mom's concha back in there still, then you can have a piece of that. Oh, did I get you excited? Mama's concha? Huh? Oh, you like that? You like that bread? Oh, you're a weird one. See, you check the thing. There's nothing there. See, it's all gone. It's all gone. It's all gone. I know. As much as you want there to be something for you, there's nothing. You're looking at my coffee now. You can't have my coffee. Nope. That's why I draw the line. And it's cold. Let me warm it up, baby. All right, now we're looking at maybe you can get a piece of concha here. Nope, it's gone. The maintenance guy. I'll probably get Devin's help to put that cooler thing on there, just so I can check the water, make sure the water's going into the right area. I'm just so jeez. I guess it's just about time to get done here and fire up these computers doing some video work. I just put a bunch of these onto my faster computer here, newer computer. It doesn't necessarily run faster saving these things, but I've got like, I just put 17 items on here to save, and I've still got tons of stuff on the other one to dig out and save that aren't on this list. And then I'm just going to make a master list of all the 50 movies that I create right now over the next few days, so that I have a large file to choose from. Extras, so that if I upload something and YouTube says, then I can just drop something else in and delete that one. Hi. What's up, babyface? You want to go outside? You want to eat? You want to wrestle? You want that chair? Is there a ghost here? What's up? You see something I don't? Are you in pain too? I know you have cancer. Are you okay? Are you okay? I know. We're all dying. What are you going to do? What are you gonna do? It sucks. That's what I'm talking about. Hot coffee. Ah. Hot coffee. Well, I guess I'm gonna smoke some more here, because once I get done with this live show this morning, I'm either throwing myself into videos or taking a nap. Either way, I won't be smoking much. That's just the way it is. I find that when I'm really busy here doing computer stuff, I have to force myself to stop every hour or two and stretch and kill some pain and maybe eat something. And if I'm not reminding myself, then hopefully my wife and or daughter are coming by and saying, when was the last time you ate? Eat something. Here, eat this. I get that a lot, which is really cool, because to have people around you that care enough to make sure that you're eating, right? That's important, especially at this stage in life. Hi, big face. Is there something else you require of me? You want to get in my lap? Is that it? Hi. Hi. I don't know what you want. There's food, there's water. There's no more chanclas or bagels. You can't have my coffee. You want to get behind me? How you want to get behind me? She likes to lay behind me. Maybe that's it. Hi. Hi. How are you? The sliding of this drawer in and out is just making her go, wow, man, that's scary. She's a little bit skittish. Well, the other day when it was raining and there was some thunder out there, boy, she was like, all right, where do I go to hide? She went to my daughter's room. She never goes into my daughter's room. She's in my daughter's room on her bed, because she's in there with the air conditioner on, thicker walls, and TV playing a video game and stuff. All the other dogs were in there, so it's like, yeah, I'll hang. So she went in there and hung out for a little while. Or she'll hang out with me in our room on the bed. Because I'll do the same thing. I'll put on a movie, turn on the air conditioner, and go to sleep. Because I gotta have the noise. So she likes the noise. It drowns out the thunder. You'd like to drown the thunder. Yeah, crazy. So I'm trying to come up with a concept for a 2-hour episode once a week of nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, where I will put together video to play, so that it's not just music looking at the lava lamp, right? I want to try to do, so we'll do some music. I want to do some old-time radio comedy, right? To some little excerpts of old-time radio in there. And some video. Last night I got into bed early and then stayed up late watching an Eddie Cantor movie. Kathleen Sullivan, I think is who it was. Really tall girl. And it was just a great, funny movie. And I had just started getting into listening to the 20s and 30s music, and this was 1931. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the movie. It was about a donut shop, basically. It was a donut shop restaurant glorifying the American donut at the Clark Bakery, and it was run by all beautiful girls, scantily clad, pre-code, so everything was bouncy and jiggly and pointy and natural. That was great. I got a little heated. It was a really cool. And he sang a little bit, did his comedy stuff, did his eyes. It was really neat. So I'll probably try to find stuff like that. You know, stuff like an excerpt from a movie, and then play some of the music. And if I can't play the movie and the music together because of copyright, then I can at least play a little comedy from one of the movies and then play some music from that era or that person, right? And kind of dress it up and just see how far I can go with it, see what I can get away with. Because it's not monetized, and I'm doing this for educational and historical purposes mainly my own history. I'm hoping that I'm able to just continue getting away with all of these uploads. At some point, all of these uploads may come and bite me in the ass, but I may have to go clean house and get rid of a bunch of stuff. I want to keep the old-time radio and the old-time educational films. That's important. That's me. The movies and TV stuff, you can find that shit anywhere streaming. We'll talk about it and you can go find it, right? Or I'll put a link to it. But the stuff that you can't find, the stuff that's hard to find, you know, I'll try to present it here. What I'd like to do is set up a projector and a camera and actually live kinescope stuff that I've already uploaded and gotten the okay to play, and then do a live kinescope here. What I'm thinking is, what I'll do is I'll upload a film of something that I have at home, or something that I want to play live through my computer, and I'll upload it with a premiere date after the day I want to use it live. So I get my permissions and stuff and do the checks on it and get the okay to use it, and then so I know when I'm doing it live, I'm not going to get in trouble. It's not going to cut my feed because I've got copywritten material, right? So there. Turtley, dude. Turtley, dude. Turtley. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be taking off here really quick. I'm going to do a hit for the road. And then, since I've just eaten a little something, I'm going to dive right into the computer and start with some of these, some more of these movies, and get some more videos created. So that by the end of this week, I've got all of next month in the can, ready to upload. And all I have to do is make a schedule, pull from lists to make schedules. That's it. Program. Yeah. All right, people. This is where I beg off and get out of here and let you get on with your day, and I will get on with mine. Be sure to stop by this evening and see what's going on at the Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia Show, or any time on my channel to see what's premiering, something premiering every few hours. There's also you know, something live, a couple of live things just about every day. All right, people, take care, be kind to each other, spread love and kindness. Get out there and do something for somebody, do something for yourself, and most especially, stay weird, people. Love ya. See you later.